Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, Eric and I are going to be working on the roll cage. So we have things like the halo bar, the A-pillar bars, and then we may even work in the front strut tower area of the car as well if we have time. Should be a fun day. Stay tuned. Eric and I started the day off by just kind of reviewing what we've done so far. We're all good, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mock up the placement of the halo bar. That's the bar that goes from here forward and follows that windshield line and then comes back to there, connects back in there, as well as the A-pillar bars that run down the A-pillar right here. Eric and I are going to mock up the fitment of those and see what we're going to be making from scratch and what we're not going to be making, and then we need to fully weld in some of the rest of this stuff. All right, test fitting went great. Everything fits really well. We have excess material, so we can trim it all down to the exact size and location that we want as far as the A-pillars and the main hoop. So that should go pretty fast. Now, you guys remember that I just tack welded all this stuff in. Now that we got Eric here, he's gonna fully weld all this stuff in. So that's all the body mounts, all the way around, and the main hoop. Eric just finished up welding the supports that go from the body to the frame, and then the main hoop to those supports that goes all the way around. So that main hoop is officially welded in here nicely, and then we did the front ones as well and cleaned them up. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to installing the halo bar. It's called the halo bar because it goes around your head like a halo. So that means we need to do the same cleaning up that we did back here. We need to do that over here. So you can see that there's some foam there, some foam there. Over here you still actually have the OEM like leather crap from the headrest. All that needs to come out. It needs to be sanded and cleaned up, and then we'll hit it all with the zinc weld through primer, so it's all ready to go for anything that we might want to add in later. The prep work took forever with the amount of foam and junk that was on here, and I know it's hard to see, but it's all cleaned up, sanded up now, so I'm gonna hit it all. I was saying zinc primer earlier, but I don't think we're welding into any of these spaces actually, and zinc primer over just other paint has really no use. So we're just gonna use high filler primer throughout all this section to cover up any spots where we burn through the stock paint into the metal. Okay, we are all prepped up in here. The paint went on really well. Thanks again to SEM for that filler primer. So now we're gonna go ahead and place the halo bar. We're gonna test fit it in here. We'll get it coped. That means that we're cutting it to notch it out basically to match up with this main hoop bar size, and then we'll weld it in place. Eric did a fantastic job of coping this pipe, so when we do match it up here, it's a really, really nice and tight fit, which is going to be fantastic. So we've put this ratchet strap around here to kind of hold it from the top, and then we're going to level it out, get it 100% like exactly where we want it. We're going to do a slight kind of upward, because if we run it 100% level with like how the roof goes, it really takes away a lot of headroom. So it's going to go upwards a little bit, and then yeah, Eric's going to weld them all the way around. We got the halo bar welded in place. I wanted to give you a front shot so you can see how it's like perfectly level. Due to Eric doing some really good coping, we just completely nailed it on the level of this thing across the car. And then he went ahead and welded it in. Looks fantastic. I keep saying that. Now the next thing that we're going to work on is the A-pillar bars. So they start right there, they come down around the, with the A-pillar, and then they're going to come down and tie into the body mount piece of steel. So it's going to come along like that. So we'll be coping one side and then cutting one side at a weird like angle thing. Well, we ran into a failure with the A-pillars, and this is one of those things where it's going to take more time to do it right than to just rush it and do it a little bit wrong. The material length that came with the kit is just not quite long enough to have it meet up where we want it to, which you can kind of see over there. It's just zip tied in place right now. Meet up where we want it to, follow the windshield down, and then connect into our piece that we want to connect into down there. So you see, if we do that and we keep that angle right here, it's like 3 inches short. So if we were to cut this right now and move it forward, that would have to move forward as well, and that's not really going to work because then it moves this out, and it won't fit. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'll go buy more tubing, and we will. Oh, also the other problem is this bend starts too soon. We need it to actually go down further, and then the bend to start later, which means we need to make it on our own. We need to put the bend in there on our own and do that. So I'm going to buy more of that tubing tomorrow, and then we'll bend it, cope it, cut it, and set it all the right way, exactly where I want it, with no sacrifices. Because if we rushed it today, I would just hate it. This is a very important, you know, A-pillar piece right here. I really want it to look right. But we got the halo bar in there, and that's all welded up and perfectly straight, and we got all the other welding done, so that's awesome. Now, I told you guys about these Koenig wheels. Let me unbox them for you real quick. They come with this very high-class cover thing. Ha-ha! There we are. So this is a Koenig Hypergram. It's a flow-formed wheel in their gunmetal color, covering, coating, whatever you want to call it. Finish. That's what they're called. Finish. So I like these because they have this, you know, this multiple kind of step down look to them. I think it makes them look pretty nice and retro, and I think they're going to look really good on the car. Let me put this next to the car. It's not going to fit over this massive rotor, I don't think, but let me put it next to the car. It looks a little strange with it being sagging down so far, but you can kind of get a feel for it. I do think that it has some like nice retro lines that match the car a little bit. I mean, I think they look great on a modern car too. I run these on my BRZ in the candy apple red color, but for this, I do think that they match up pretty well. So I'm really, really happy with this wheel and this design. These are our test fitting wheels. I got one for the rear and one for the front. We just have two of them because we're just test fitting to make sure that they fit on the car. These are on the BMW lug pattern. And so we're going to be downsizing the caliper and rotor and all that stuff, and then we'll test fit this wheel and make sure it fits on the car okay. You can see it's getting pretty close back here. This might be one of our limiting factors, is making sure that we don't run into the strut there. But they look fantastic. Like I've said before, Koenig's been a huge, or Koenig if you're a big fan of pronunciation, they've been a big supporter of the channel and hooking us up with wheels for all these different builds. They make a great, you know, high quality, lightweight, high performance wheel that's at an affordable price. So you guys check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Huge thanks to them. Shout out to them for hooking us up with wheels for this build, but also hosting us at SEMA, which is really awesome as well. If we make it, when we make it, they are our hosts at SEMA, which is so amazing. It's like, it's literally making a dream of mine come true, which is really, really cool. So that's what the wheel looks like. That's what it's going to look like on the car. 10.5 in the rear, 9 in the front, I believe is what we're doing. I'm pretty positive that's the measurements that we're doing. If all those fit, if we need to go skinnier in one direction or another, we can still do that too. That's what we're doing this whole test fitting phase right here. So sooner than later, you're going to see me downsize those calipers and rotors. Look at the size of the freakishly large brake caliper. Can't wait to get rid of that. The calipers and rotors and everything like that. So that's awesome. So yep, that's it. That's a wrap for this one. Tomorrow I'm going to go get more tubing so we can build that thing correctly. Some of you guys may have noticed that we took a little extra break over the weekend. Hopefully that's the last little extra break that we'll do over the weekend. I've just had some minor annoyances with the heat and my migraines that I get. It just was kind of screwing me up. So hopefully we'll be back on track and I can get that stuff dialed in and put more days in, because we got to get this thing ready for SEMA. Obviously, we're going, running, and driving or not. If we have to Rob Dom it at SEMA, then we shall. But I'd really like to not have that happen. In other news, We bought the build that is after this one. So we got the next build lined up. I'm very, very excited about it. It's a car that not many other YouTubers have. I don't know anybody that's actively working on one right now. And it's been a goal car of mine for a long time to be able to have one. So I'm really stoked on it, and I'm really happy that we won it, and we'll get to have the title the cheapest blah 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 in the world, because it's definitely the cheapest one. It's pretty messed up, but we'll get it figured out. So I'm very, very excited about that, and I'll tell you what that is probably at SEMA time. I don't know, October-ish. Do I have something on my face? Oh yeah, I do. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to the end. That's a little teaser for all you guys. I'll be back in here tomorrow and we'll get this roll cage wrapped up. I'll see you then. Peace!